Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to take just a couple of minutes to talk about our decision to postpone for the next few weeks at least our drive-in services. Last Sunday we had a drive-in service down at our rec field, and we announced then that we would make a decision in the coming week whether or not we would continue. And so Monday, our governor put in force the restrictions starting at 5 p.m. To stay at home, not to travel. And so we had some concerns about how that would affect the drive-in service. I personally made a phone call to the health department, talked to a lady at on the COVID hotline, and looking over what the declaration from the governor said, she felt like we were okay to do as long as we maintain a car distances and so forth. And we also checked, and there was a question was actually given to the governor's office, and we have a letter stating that that we would not be prohibited from doing so. However, we did make an announcement then that we would have the service, but when we did make that announcement, several people called with concerns about why are we doing this? Is it legal? Is it worth the risk? So having met with the deacons and having talked to some healthcare professionals and consulting with our department here in Union County, our director of missions, Eric Cook, we decided that for the next couple of weeks anyway, because the president and the CDC has announced that they expect the virus to peak in the next couple of weeks, we've decided to postpone even the drive-in service at this time. Several things went into that decision. Number one, the risk. We don't know what the risk is. It's highly contagious, we know that. The health department is prepping for this to be a very, very, very deadly disease, and I think we've all followed the news, know what's going on in New York, and honestly, if we were in New York right now, we probably wouldn't even have to have this conversation. It's been made for them. But here we do have liberty and freedom to gather in the way we did last week. However, just because we can do it doesn't mean we should do it. Like I said, talking to some healthcare professionals, the concern is it worth the risk of even one person from our congregation getting the virus and possibly dying? And it's not. It's not. We have online access. We have the ability to do videos like this and so forth. So safety is our number one concern right now. And as I said, after consulting with all of our deacons, we've decided that the prudent thing to do would be to just postpone these services for at least the next 2 weeks and then reevaluate after that. Now, I know that means no Easter sunrise service. It means no Palm Sunday service. And, as hard as that is, we need to remember a couple things. Number one, we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ every Sunday. And so we just look forward to the time when we will have the all clear and we can gather again together. And we look forward to that day, and we're going to do everything we can to make that a very special celebratory time. But there was a couple of other things I just wanted to mention that went into the thought process of why we should cancel this, even though we had the go-ahead from as far as the law is concerned. Y'all know history. Someone has said that, Nero burned Rome, but blamed it on the Christians. And that is true. Persecution against the church is nothing new. Christians have been blamed for many things over the years. And I'd like to just say a word too about some of the churches that have continued to gather together in spite of the recommendation to not gather. And I think it's foolish. Personally believe that we need to obey our civil authorities, and we need to love our neighbor. And in the context of the situation that we are in right now, the best way we can love our neighbor, quite frankly, is to stay home. To stay home, pray for one another, look out for one another the best we can. If we do have to go to the store to get supplies, check on your neighbors, especially those who are elderly or those who have small children that don't want to expose their children by having to go to the store themselves. Check on them, minister in that way. Go to the, run errand if you're going out anyway. Just keep, the more people we can keep from having to go out and be exposed, the better. So that's one thing. But secondly, just knowing this, if we were to continue, hypothetically, if we were to continue to have even the drive-in service, if just one person that attended the drive-in service were to come down with the virus and get very sick or even possibly pass away, then whether they picked it up at Food Lion or another grocery store or going to Lowe's, it wouldn't matter. Some people would blame the church. I know it, and I hope you understand that. That's just the way things work, and so just to stay above reproach, I guess you could say, not easily have any kind of accusation laid against us as a church. We've just erred on the side of caution and looking out for our church family, looking out for our community as well. Those that aren't even members of our church need to know that we care enough about them to not try to do anything we can to keep them from being exposed to the virus. So that's why we've made this decision. I know some may disagree, and I know some are disappointed because we really did have a good time down at the rec field last week, and it was really great to see some of you. But under the circumstances, we just need to maintain that safe distance. Log on to our website, Pleasant Hill 4, the number 4, the letter U, PleasantHill4U.com. You can watch the videos. It'll also be on our Facebook page, Pleasant Hill Facebook page, and we will be doing I'll be doing a daily devotional on there, as well as a service, a Bible study on Wednesday night, and of course a message on Sunday. And maybe even look into recruiting some other people to get a voice in there, so you don't get tired of mine. But just continue to pray for one another. Understand that these were not easy decisions, and I can't even imagine what governors and our president, the decisions they're having to make right now are very, very difficult decisions, and they're not going to please everyone. And so continue to pray for our nation, pray for our leaders, and thank you for your continued support of your church. We love you and look forward to gathering together again very soon. Thank you.